Hi guys, welcome to yet another tutorial on the Linux Monk channel. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please just click on the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it to get notifications whenever I upload something new. So today I'm going to be looking at distributed command execution, which is a very important topic when it comes to system administration. And in this tutorial, the practical part, we are going to be using the Python based Tentacle package. So that's the one that we are going to configure for distributed command execution. So for those of you who do not understand what distributed command execution is, let me just give a scenario. So imagine you are a system administrator in charge of 2 or more servers, and you want to say shut down or restart all the servers at once. Are you going to log into each of the servers and run the shutdown command? Well, it's definitely going to get the job done, but it's going to take a lot of your precious time. What if I tell you that there is definitely a better way to go about it using distributed command execution? You can run a single command on one of the machines, and that command gets executed on all the servers. Just how cool is that? So let's go ahead and let's configure the Tentacle package for distributed command execution. Our setup is made up of 3 virtual machine servers, so you need to have passwordless SSH configured. I have included a link to the password SSH config on the description. So I've just checked the version of Python installed on this machine, and we are using version 2.7. So the next step, we are going to query if we have Python pip installed. This is the package that we are going to use to install Tentacle. So we have Python pip installed, and the version is Python 2 pip. If you don't have Python pip installed, you can go ahead and run the yum install Python 2 pip command to install the package. So I'm not going to run that because I already have it installed. So the next step, I'm going to install Tentacle using the pip command from the earlier installation, and I'm going to specify the version of Tentacle as it's version 2.3. That's the one that I'm going to install. Well, there's already a version 3, but version 3 is not compatible with Python 2.7 that's installed on this virtual machine. So just give it some time to collect the Tentacle package. Okay, so I seem to be having a connectivity issue. Let me just fix that. Okay, so I'm just going to reinstall the Tentacle package. Okay, so there we have it. We have Tentacle successfully installed. So the next step, I'm going to configure Tentacle. However, to do that, I'm going to use the example configuration file. That's the one that I'm going to copy from the Tentacle documents folder. So the example configuration is a .example extension, and I'm going to copy it to the etc directory with a .conf extension. Okay, so so we have the etc tentacle.conf package copied. So the next step, I'm going to open the tentacle.conf file. So as you can see, we are going to be using SSH. In this case, our SSH is passwordless. So we have the SSH path specified by default. So if you run the which SSH command, it's going to show you where the SSH configuration file is located. So in my case, it's user bin SSH, which is the path that's been already set. So in the case that you have a different path specified, you have to change the SSH path to the one that you are using on your computer. So we have the groups section. The groups section, this is where we are going to specify the number of servers that we are going to be managing. So we give the group a name. In this case, I'll be using my servers as the name. So I'm going to add all the servers that are going to fall under this group. So these are the servers that I'm going to be managing all at once. So like I said, they are under the my servers group. So I'm going to use IP addresses so I have 192.168.0.10, which is server 1, and I have number 11, which is server 2, and I also have number 12, which is server number 3. Okay, so alternatively, you can use the host names instead of using the IP addresses. So the second group, I'm going to call it servers host names. So I'm going to be using host names in the other group. So they are the same servers but the difference is the my servers group has IP addresses and the server host names group has host names. So you can configure Tentacle using either the IP addresses or the host names. So I'm just going to go ahead and save and quit the configuration file. So before I do that, so I have 192.168.0.10. it's called MGT, the other one is compute 1 and the other one is compute 2. Okay, so now I have the configuration file saved. So basically I've finished configuring Tentacle, and we should be ready to run distributed commands. So the main protocol that we are going to be using is the SSH protocol as specified in the etc.conf file. So I'm just going to check for passwordless SSH. So I'll try to SSH into compute 1. As you can see, I've managed to do that without using a password. So like I mentioned earlier, I have included the link to configuring passwordless SSH between servers. So the link is in the description. If you haven't done that already, please visit the link for configuring passwordless SSH. Okay, so I'm just going to test for Tentacle. So the command is Tentacle -G specifies the group. So we are going to be running Tentacle on the group my servers, and if the single quotes, in the single quotes, I'm going to put the command that we want to run on all the servers that's in the my group that falls under my servers group. So from the output that we have here, it's showing that passwordless SSH is not configured for 192.168.0.10. That's what this message means. So we are going to cancel this and configure passwordless SSH for 192.168.0.10. So I'm just going to clear this and use the SSH copy ID command. And then we specify the username. We are going to configure passwordless SSH for root at MGT or root at 192.168.0.10. So we have successfully configured passwordless SSH. So that's the IP address of the server with host name MGT. So let's rerun Tentacle command again. Tentacle -G for group my servers, for all the servers that falls under that group, and we are going to be running the date command. So as you can see, we have reply from 192.168.0.11, and the date is being shown as Monday, September 7. Again, we have a reply from .10, and it's responding with today's date, and again .12, it's responding with the same date. So we have managed to run a single command on multiple servers that are existing, and all those servers have managed to give us a response on the standard output of the command that we have executed. So as you can see, okay, so let's try to run the Tentacle command using the host names. So all the host names, they are falling under the server host names group, and as you can see, we have a reply from compute 1, we have another reply from compute 2, and we have another reply from the from MGT. So in this case, I have used SSH, but you can use other forms or other methods of remote login, like you can use RSH, you can use RLogin, so you basically need to have more than one remote login method enabled in case the other one fails. For instance, if you have RLogin and SSH enabled, if SSH fails, you can go ahead and use the RLogin or the RSH. So I also have tutorials covering the configuration of RLogin and RSH on this channel. Please go ahead, take your time, access the tutorials, take a look at them, and let's have your feedback. So I'm going to specify another group. This is the I'll call it the shutdown group, and I'm going to specify compute 1 and compute 2. So basically what I'm trying to achieve here is I want to run the shutdown command so that I can shut down compute 1 and compute 2 at the same time without logging into compute 1 for shutdown and into compute 2 again for shutdown. And I'm going to leave server 1, that's the one that I'm working that's the one that I'm working with. So if I shut that one down, it means I'm going to lose my connection. So I'm not going to shut that one down. I'm going to shut down compute 1 and compute 2. So with the Tentacle command, I specify the -G for the group, and then I specify the group name, shutdown, and then I will have the shutdown command in single quotes. So before I run the shutdown command, I'm just going to run another command on my servers group, the df-h. df-h is used to check disk utilization. So I can check for disk utilization on all the servers, and then I get the response on the standard output, or you can even append the results to a file so that you can send the output to a file. So you can run any Linux command using Tentacle or distributed command execution. So I'm just going to go ahead and run the shutdown command. So I specify the command shutdown -h now. That's the command that I'm going to run on compute 1 and compute 2. So as you can see, I have compute 2 and I've lost connection from compute 2. Compute 2 is shutting down, and then I've compute 1, I've also lost connection. It's in the process of shutting down. So I'm just going to run the ping command just to ascertain that I no longer have connection. Ping compute 2 is not returning anything. I'm also going to ping compute 1 to see if it's shut down. Compute 1. Okay, so for server 3 or compute 1, it's shutting down, but it hasn't yet completed. A stop job is running for LVM2. That's the message there. So I'm going to give it some time to completely shut down. So I have server 2 completely shut down. Server 3 is still up, however is in the process of shutting down. Oh yes, so we now have server 3 and server 2, all of them have shut down completely. So that's what the Tentacle command is able to achieve or accomplish for you. Basically, the idea is to make life easier for system administration. I believe and I think every sysadmin should have distributed command execution configured. Thank you very much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe. I would like to hear your comments. Your feedback is important for me. Thank you very much.